For what the hell, we could probably go off and talk about Hitman's Bodyguard Wife.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Okay. And welcome to Nerd Sports. Today we're going to talk about the intricate sports of. You know what? I actually ended up watching a lot of soccer this weekend.
Yeah, I mean,
We were at. What were we doing? We were at Bricktown on Friday, and we started watching football, basketball. Right, not basketball. God damn, I can't.
it was like that hacky sack volleyball hybrid.
Yes,
That was crazy to watch. I'm like
volley football.
volley.
It was soccer. That was one of the weirdest sports. I was like, are they not allowed to use their hands? He's like, yeah, it's a thing. And you just busted out. I was like, that's a pro tour?
I'm like, that's hacky sack with like extra steps. So I mean, like, if you could get a stoner, like a legitimate '90s stoner, out of his mom's basement long enough, and you tell him to take his Jinko jeans off, and get out on the beach, dude, they'd kill. They would absolutely kill on that tour. They would dominate. Yeah. They really would. But yeah, no. We just had, what was it, the women's college softball World Series, and it came down to Oklahoma, which they were the top seed, and then Florida State. They were the number 2 seed.
That was another thing. Something about the NCAA.
Yeah, but Oklahoma State ended up taking that title 2 games to 1, which was kind of expected. But still, nonetheless, I mean, it was kind of cool to see a team that traditionally, from what I understand, doesn't normally get to the final, being the Florida State girls. But it definitely got a lot of attention. Because the Women's College World Series is held up in Oklahoma City, so that's just literally up the road from us. So I'm thinking maybe next year, depending on where we're at, we could probably try to go up there for maybe like a day, just to kind of, I don't know, get a.
Where is it at again?
It's in Oklahoma City.
That's only a 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we could do that. I mean,
we got a whole year to plan for.
What happened with the Warriors?
You know what? That's a great question because the PR guy and the coach, neither one of them got back to me. Let me look that up.
It's pretty bad that we're trying to boost sales, basically, by getting our 5 people to go to these games and everything. And because I've been to one of the hockey games when it was free.
Yeah.
For a day, and it still only had like 6 to 7 people. I mean, it was just as bad as our podcast.
Well, they've got all these thank you things across their webpage, so I'm thinking their season's over.
Is it? Well, we can still get a hold of them to talk about the next season.
Yeah, because I mean, the last scores that they had posted were from the 22nd, which actually they've got there's a game that's on their ticker for tomorrow, but Wichita Falls is not on here. Let me see here. When is the last time that the Warriors are not even listed on here. So I think maybe they got bounced from the playoffs. So, but is what it is.
Well, here's the other sports news.
Mm-hmm.
Sports agent said Supreme Court ruling a rare example of seeing NCAA on their back foot. I read like a small amount of this when I was on break today, but I'm trying to find the actual ruling because most of it's just hearsay. Faced proposition of reshaping the college athletes, and the Supreme Court issued a narrow but potential transformation ruling Monday in a case that pitted college athletes against the NCAA. at the issue in the case where the NCAA ruled the limited educational benefits for college players as part of their scholarship.
Yeah.
So basically, what they're going to do is, making sure that I'm right on this. When choices for consumer by distributing college sports from professional sports and
Well, while you're reading that, we would be remiss if we did not talk about the NBA. The NBA is down to their Final Four. The conference finals between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Phoenix Suns. They're playing for the West Conference title, and then Atlanta and Milwaukee are they actually tip off tonight for Game 1 of their series in the Eastern Conference Finals. The traditional heavy hitters, the Warriors, the Lakers, they're out. They're out. Celtics are out. I mean, everybody's out with the exception of these four teams. Phoenix.
What happened with the LA Lakers? They were supposed to go all the way up to the top, right?
I think LeBron flopped his way out of the first round.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Because then that prompted Michael Jordan to give his
2 cents.
2 cents is saying that the discussion about LeBron being included in the GOAT conversation is now over. So when his airness comes out and says, yeah, no.
Yeah.
But
which is really great because it just goes to show how much of a pompous ass that guy is.
Yeah, well,
the king, not the
the
real king.
Yeah, if I'm going to pull for any of these four teams, I honestly think I'd like to see Phoenix go all the way. I really would.
Yeah.
Just because, it's like the Clippers. They're L.A. Dude, I've got no use for teams from L.A. Really don't. I've got about as much use for L.A. teams as I do New York.
Most people don't even watch the L.A. teams that much anymore.
Well, they do, and it's just because ever since the Warriors, when they had their Warriors, they're more of an Oakland team, but still. So it's the California-based teams, and I'm just like, oh god. Now, I mean, the only thing that people are really kind of paying attention to here anymore is the Padres. That's just because the Padres have almost $1 billion on their payroll. I mean, it seems like, but
how are they actually doing in the events, though?
The Padres. Let me look at the standings real quick. In the National League, the Padres are in third place. They're 5 games back of the Giants, who have a game-and-a-half lead over the Dodgers in the National League West. But
to finish this up, all the NCAA, what the Supreme Court's doing is they're trying to compensate the students because basically NCAA is marketing these in a multi-billion-dollar industry, and the students aren't getting compensated good enough.
Yeah, and at some point that was going to kind of become a thing, but
yeah. Well, I'm surprised. They're doing it also with football. They're trying to get it to where they get a small pay,
right,
for going to college and playing for these teams.
Now, last week when we came here to film, my beloved Red Sox had fallen to 4th place in the American League East. They kind of hit a little rough streak there. Tampa Bay, which had been on an absolute tear, as of today, they come into today losing their last 6 games. The Red Sox, I woke up this morning and my Red Sox were a half game in first place, all by their lonesome. So, of course, the Yankees, they're in 3rd place, but they're 4.5 games back. But we still have we still have over half the season left because we're still a couple of weeks out from the All-Star game, which is the halfway point of the season. But last week, and I need to put this out there. Last week, my Red Sox, they did me proud. Buddy of mine who I'm about to call and bring onto the show, Zach Medford, He lives in South Carolina, and he is a diehard Braves fan. And and if you recall, we had made a friendly little wager that it was a 2-game series that was going to be played. Quit shaking the table, for crying out loud.
Sorry.
I'm sitting here going, I'm like, getting all vertigo because it's like, okay, why is the room moving? But I promise I haven't had that much to drink. But it was a 2-game series to be played at Truist Park down there in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Where the All-Star game should be getting played. But
might still get played there after all the people sue.
If they do, it won't be until next year.
Yeah.
But because they've already got the infrastructure getting set up and everything like that in Denver, so they're not going to move it again. But the Red Sox, the Red Sox and Braves were playing that, and so we had a friendly little wager that if one team got swept, that the fan of that team had to wear the opposition's hat in their Facebook profile picture for 1 week. Now, I knew I was going to be safe when that night, the first night that they played, which was Tuesday the 15th, the Red Sox beat the Braves 10-8. Right, so I texted Zach the next day. I said, hey, at least I'm guaranteed a spot in the finals, right? I didn't have to worry about wearing the hat because at best, I mean, at worst at that point, they could just split the series and nobody would have had to have worn the other team's hat. And the next day, the Red Sox ended up winning 10-7. No, come on, Jesus, let's go. I swear, I know how to work these things. So they beat them 10-7, or was it 10-8? 10-8? Oh my God, come on. Modern technology, let's go. Anyway, so yeah. Maybe it was 10-8 both nights. Yeah, it was. It was 10-8 both nights. Anyways, so.
Yeah, 10-8.
10-8 and 10-8, yeah. So, but I was on my way to Amarillo with my 2 youngest boys to see their brother receive an award with the Amarillo Police Department. And I texted him on the road. I was like, "Hey, bud, how you holding up?" I get a text message from him 4 hours later. he said, crying a lot. But seriously, the Braves at this point just need to get the fuck off the reservation. Now I got to go get some Red Sox gear to honor this bet. And I'm like, all right. So I told him, I said I'd call him today when we were here filming the episode. So that way I could give him a platform to bitch about the Braves. And he was like, all right, yeah, I'll be available. And then I just texted him to make sure that he was available. So.
Is he up?
Let me go ahead and give him a buzz. So let us go ahead and do that. Can you hear it just fine?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, he better answer his phone. Hey, Zach, what's going on, brother?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Doing okay. You're on the podcast, so, we affectionately refer to our little sports episodes as Nerd Sports. So I was just going over our little wager concerning last week's games. And, if I was kind of letting our viewers and listeners know that, I had texted you on, Thursday last week, just to kind of check to see how you were doing. And, yeah.
Tell you, it's hard to find. It's quite similar. So I don't want to buy any Red Sox gear, right? Because I don't like. So for me, it's almost like going to find toilet paper with shit already on it, and it's been really hard in South Carolina.
Well, you see, you make that sound like, that wearing Red Sox gear, putting any kind of Red Sox paraphernalia on your Facebook profile as we had agreed upon would be the same as maybe wearing Yankee pinstripes. And I just don't see the similarities there at all.
Honest, if I had to pull anything out of my ass, which both teams would come out of it, Actually, that came off wrong.
Oh, it did, very much so.
The whole team, or just the people on the.
Okay, so you're hearing my co-host David. So, and I'm getting
he
all.
Sounds a little faint. I can't really make him out.
Yeah, he was asking, was it the whole team that you pulled out of your ass, or is it just certain players?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I am in no way gay at all, but I mean, Jason Varitek stands a chance.
Yeah, I'm. I could get. Pun intended. I can get behind that. The captain's always got he's always had a warm spot in my heart.
There we go. See, now we're just running in circles here.
Loop-de-loop, right? All right, so as we agreed upon, I told you that I would give you a platform upon which you could vent about the Braves. So, Mr. Medford, you have the floor.
Oh, boy. Well, this is going to be real fun because we're coming off a doubleheader yesterday against the Cardinals in which we took 3 of the 4-game series. Of course, looking in historical fucking events, we always beat the Cardinals, like a redheaded stepchild in the season. When it comes to postseason, it's flipped. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they've knocked us out historically 11 postseasons.
Yeah, that includes the infamous infield fly play, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
I can't remember that umpire's name, but man, if I ever catch him in a fucking bar, it is on.
Kind of like Angel Hernandez.
Oh my gosh, man!
I don't even know what that guy's still doing in baseball, but whatever.
He's proof that you can suck at your job and still be employed. Like, that's just me. And then don't forget, was it last year? Year before that? I don't know if you remember the infamous historical 11-run top of the first inning Cardinals at Braves. They put up 11 runs in top of the first. That's the only game that I've ever stopped watching in the first inning. That was game 5, I think. They took that, and that just capped our season. I think that was, like I said, either the 11th or 12th time the Cardinals put the Braves out of the postseason. So I don't know what that is, but I am probably the most superstitious baseball fan / ex-player. We all have our little things, but if you look back when, like I said, 2019, when they stopped doing the chop at Truist Park, then SunTrust Park. They don't play the chop anymore. It is not played because, feelings and stuff. They don't even sell tomahawks either. So they played with the baseball gods, and that was the first game they didn't play the chop, and 11 runs got scored in the first inning, which is the most ever scored in the first inning in the 100-and-something years baseball has been around. So, like I said, baseball mojo, superstition.
Yeah, last year I think was the 150th anniversary of the Major League Baseball.
Yeah, something like that. We're definitely in that realm. Right now, coming off yesterday's doubleheader, because Saturday got rained out in Atlanta.
Yeah, I think y'all split that doubleheader there yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, we split it. They took the early game. We took the late one. Right now, I don't know what the issue is, but we flew after the game last night. We flew from Atlanta. As if I'm on the fucking team. But anyway, we flew to fucking New York, and we're at Citi Field right now for another doubleheader. So we are in the game 1 right now that started at 5:10, and then we have another one tonight at 8:40. So yeah, that's they're having a rough past 48 hours after tonight. They probably need to lay down and just sleep a little bit.
Yeah. Now, you and I had talked about, that the 2 games for our teams when we played each other, offensively, the games were great. I mean, they were just entertaining to watch. But the pitching staff, on the other hand, both bullpens got beat the hell up. I know that watching it from my side, the Red Sox, I mean, just the middle relief has a lot left to be desired. I mean, we got guys in there named Andres, and it's like, what is he doing there? we still have Ryan Brazier. He's MIA. He's because he's from here, so I think he's still here handling like personal issues. I'm not sure that he's reported to the team yet or not. I know that he is under contract with them, so I can't really find a whole lot of information about it. But we got guys like Adam Ottavino, Ryan Weber. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the only bright spot as far as like pitching is concerned that I'm looking forward to, and then that's going to really help my team out, is going to be Chris Sale has been kind of beating the curve on his recovery time coming back from Tommy John surgery. The other day he threw a bullpen session, threw 40 pitches. Said he felt great afterwards. He came in for a full workout about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, and it was an off day for everybody. So like the entire pitching staff came in to work just to watch him throw from the mound. And I mean, to me, that's kind of awesome, because I mean, whether you like the Red Sox or not, I mean, you have to like Chris Sale. I mean, the guy throws. I mean, he's kind of like a quiet version of Trevor Bauer. I mean, he just comes in, does his work, and he doesn't have a lot of hyperbole as far as like, I'm going to strike this guy out with one eye closed kind of a deal. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I like Trevor Bauer's bravado, but I like the way that Chris Sale just kind of silently comes in and just does his job. But the Braves pitching, man, dude.
So here's we're gonna split that in half right here.
Yeah.
I think it's an issue that both of us lie in. We, throughout the history of both teams, have been spoiled on the mound, and I think the bar is just set. I mean, I've been talking about Red Sox. I mean, Pedro Martinez, the Roger Clemens. I mean, Jesus Christ, the pitching award is named after Cy Young. So remember Tim Wakefield too.
Oh yes, I do remember the grandfather of the knuckleball. Yeah, I do remember.
I mean, things like that, and then the Braves. We had the Aces.
I mean, you had Maddox, you had Smoltz, you had Glavine. I mean, dude, I mean that rotation right there, just those three guys in that rotation during the '90s. I mean, these guys. I mean, if you look at the way that guys pitch nowadays, they all pitch north and south. Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux, they pitched east and west. So I mean, they made you go outside the zone, and I
love the Aces, and here's why. And obviously, I'm fucking partial to them, but it's just three dynamic different styles of pitches. My favorite is John Smoltz, just because when I grew up playing, like, every kid and teenager wanted to be the pitcher. I just wanted to put my Copenhagen in my mouth and hang out in center field. So I was all about Andrew Jones, that was my guy. I didn't want to pitch, but I had a 2-seam, 4-seam, and straight fastball, partial slider. So I identified with Smoltz, and I had this umpire, and he followed me for like 10 years. Like, he coached all my rec, Triple SA, AAU, and every time I get up, he's like, all right, Smoltzy, get him. Because I only pitched like 1 or 2 innings. Like, that was it. That's all you're getting out of me. So I love Smoltz, and I remember back in 1993, my uncle took me to Turner Field, and Smoltz was starting then with that shit-ass mustache he used to have. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, I do. He still has it.
If he pulled up, like, in a white van, like, he was sending off some weird vibes. But, yeah, I was like, that's my guy. So, obviously, like, if he was a pedophile, I probably would have gotten the van. Like, hey, man, I see you pitch. Like,
I don't need the free candy. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Exactly, yeah. But Maddox's fastball was fucking 88 miles an hour, like damn near zero speed. And then you had Smoltz out there just sliding everything away. Like, his breaking ball would just drop out of the clouds, and that was his thing. But it would come in so hot. And he had Glavine, just very north-south. So he has 3 dynamic differences. And then don't forget, the women love him. You remember Javi Lopez, our catcher? I mean, you gotta have to be a good pitcher, sometimes you got to have a good catcher. And the dude was just, you know, I don't think any three of them, they would still be great, don't get me wrong, but they would be, Javi definitely helped him out a lot of times, especially imagine trying to catch for Greg Maddux. Like, that thing's just dropping left and right, hitting corners, slow speed, like,
yeah, that's like Veritek trying to catch Wakefield's knuckleball. He absolutely hated it.
Can you imagine trying to catch a knuckleball? Like, and if I'm not mistaken, Wakefield, he was a reliever coming out of the bullpen, I believe. Definitely not a starter. So
yeah, I mean they stretched him out for a starter for a couple of weeks. He was the guy that they went to fill in if somebody went down on the injured reserve list. But you know, I mean, and before you go there, I'm going to try to take your thunder away here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call out one of the darkest moments, as you know, during my life as a Red Sox fan, was the 2003 ALCS Game 7. Tim Wakefield comes in relief to pitch to Aaron fucking Boone. He throws that knuckleball and it hangs up on him, and Aaron Boone just parks it.
What's a knuckleball?
Knuckleball is a pitch that it doesn't spin, and it moves all over the place. It literally defies physics.
Really?
And if you watch a guy throw it, he throws the pitch like he's trying to pitch inside of a hallway in your house.
Yeah, I guess if your co-host has a computer, I heard this stat not too long ago, and I meant to back it up, but if I'm not mistaken, I think less than 20 pitchers have been able to actively throw the knuckleball in entire MLB history.
Yeah. There's less guys. Less guys have thrown the knuckleball effectively, and that's their signature pitch during the entire 151 years of Major League Baseball. There have been more guys that have walked on the moon.
Absolutely.
There's also a chick that does it too. Eri Yoshida.
Okay, so she's a Japanese girl?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, still. But we're talking about the show, you know.
Yeah,
so
in the show, and what you're talking about, you know, postseason, to not only throw the pitch for one, but throw the pitch in the big leagues too, and for three in the postseason, is absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, that 2003, y'all had Pedro, Manny Ramirez, Johnny Damon, like y'all had a setup, didn't y'all?
Yeah, and then we were like one or two missing pieces away. I think we still had Nomar Garciaparra back in 2003 because we traded him away for who was it? I forget. I think it was.
Oh wow!
I think it was Keith Folk. I think that we traded Nomar for in 2004.
Yeah.
Because I know that Nomar, he still got the World Series ring. After the season was over in 2004, just because he played a majority. He played up until the trade deadline with the Sox. And
wasn't he with when y'all broke the curse of the Bambino?
Well, he played for us that year, but we traded him in 2004, and that was the year that we won.
Okay, got you. Yeah. Man, I mean, you know how it is.
That's like Jose Iglesias. He was our up and coming shortstop, and we traded him to Detroit at the trade deadline in 2013, and then in 2013 that was the breakout year for Xander Bogaerts, and well, hey, Xander Bogaerts, dude, I'll tell you what, dude. I mean, love him or hate him, dude, you cannot argue that the guy is probably arguably one of the best, if not the best, shortstop playing baseball right
now. Offensively or defensively? I got some quarrels with that pending. He is good, but something about, my shortstop just struck out. Wow. Never mind. I was going to say Dansby. When he's on, but he's definitely off right now, and I can't say.
And it's the same. And it's the same way with Bogaerts. I mean, when he's off, he's got a hole in his swing that you could park a truck in. But Dansby and Bogaerts both. I mean, if you get those guys down, 0-2, if you get them into a 2-strike count, I mean, they choke up on that bat and they defend that plate. And I mean, they may pop out or line out or whatever, but I mean, they always put that ball into play. I mean, those are the two guys that I can think of that rarely strike out when they're down 2 strikes.
I wish I had something like that. I guess on the Braves, it's very complex, and National League Manager of the Year for 2 years, I think. I know he's won at least
40.
one. I think he won it twice. But Brian Snitker, manager of the Braves, he's got such
in the history
an entire just lineup. MB Free, reigning National League most valuable player, aka MB Free. He went earlier this year 1 for 21.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still right there in the top 10, I think, in home runs hit this year. So it's power or not. And then don't forget, we got Ozzy Albies, 5'6", just hit his 11th home run. We got Ronald Acuna Jr. I mean, dear God, man.
Yeah, Acuna, you got Vladdy Jr., you got Tatis Jr. I mean, these guys are just teeing off. But one of the things that I don't like about the home run explosion is that it's a byproduct of the launch angle. That's all it is. I mean, these guys.
I enjoy these sabermetrics. I don't know about you. I thoroughly enjoy them. I love the exit velo, the launch angle, and I love seeing it at different parks.
Yeah, I mean, launch velocity. I mean, exit velocities. That's one thing. I mean, because that tells scouts, that tells front offices how hard this guy's hitting, how when he makes contact, how hard is the ball leaving the bat. I mean, and that's important but as far as the launch angle, the problem that I have with the launch angle is that pitching is going to make its way back around, and you started to see that this year too, because we've had 4 no-hitters this year already, and it's made no-hitters kind of a yawn-worthy kind of a thing. But you find a pitcher that just really gets on that day, he'll expose the shortcomings of all of these hitters that are out there, trying to park it in the upper deck, and I think that when pitching starts to actually come back towards the side of pitching versus hurling, I think that the game will, become a whole lot more balanced, and in these offensive style games like you and I had to witness last week, where both games ended 10-8, we won't see those as often, and so that way, when you start seeing those football type scores on a baseball box score, pitching had a real shit day that day, but I think that with and hats off to these kids that are out there doing it. They're out there. I mean, because the pitchers now, I mean, they're just tossing these balls. I mean, they're throwing these balls 93, 94, 95 miles an hour every pitch. And there's going to be some byproducts of that. You're going to start seeing shorter leashes on pitchers. You're going to start seeing more arms getting blown out. You're going to start seeing hitters you're going to start to see a whole lot more injuries towards the hitter on the hitter side of it, because they're going to overswing, and then they're going to tear something, or they're going to separate something. I think that the front offices need to really step up, and they need to really rein the game back in. And I know a majority of that's going to be on the players. They've got to pull that back in themselves. But when pitchers start pitching again versus trying to just pump those fastballs in, I think that we're going to start seeing a more balanced game, and it's going to be more of the kind of game that you and I grew up watching, and it's going to become more of a reminiscent type of a game, and it's really I think that really is going to benefit the game itself versus what we're seeing out there now.
Is it more or less like what football is doing right now? Because they more or less rush. They don't actually toss the ball.
That's a very good, not metaphor, but that's a good translation.
Yeah, it's a good comparison. Yeah.
there's a lot of very similar to football. You know, like what's going to exert more time on the clock in football? What's going to exert more of your receivers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? You know, it's just easier for the QB to turn around, give the other guy the ball. You save your quarterback, and your line's already blocking for something. Every play they're blocking, so might as well give them something. And then runners are just running a lackadaisical route if it's handed off, you know. But we don't see that unless you're at the game. You can almost like call it if it's going to be a pass or not. So that's awesome. But in baseball, it's very similar too. There's a lackadaisical issue, and then there's excuses too. And the excuses are getting real old, but the excuses are an excuse is older than baseball. I enjoy a good error. I love a good error because if you mess the ball, like let's take an outfielder. If it's a fly and you're gunning for it and you dive, you miss, that's good baseball right there. You gave it all. You got your backup guy if he's doing his job. Yeah, that guy's going to get on base, but it was high risk, high reward. Same thing with a pass in football. What do you want? You want those 5 or 6 yards that your fullback or running back's going to get you, or do you want to throw it downfield, that high risk, high reward, running the risk of an interception, which is more likely than a fumble in my eyes. That's the thing. I think there needs to be that old school baseball. I mean, like I said, I loved the outfield growing up. Played it, lived it, loved it, played it at every level to include Legion. And Andrew Jones is my guy. And my girlfriend, I made her sit here and watch a 10-minute Andrew Jones highlight video the other day, just showing how crazy it can get in the outfield back when that was okay.
Yeah, I mean, you had Andrew Jones. I had Ken Griffey Jr. So
yeah, it did.
Yeah, I mean, watching Ken Griffey Jr. roam center field, dude, it was a treat. And my dad was in the Navy, so when I got exposed to big league baseball, when I was old enough to remember it and actually enjoy it, we were living in Washington and we were literally an hour outside of Seattle. So I got to go to the Kingdome. Yeah, the Kingdome, not Safeco Field, but the Kingdome a lot. And I got to see a lot of Ken Griffey Jr. playing almost on a daily basis. And to me, I mean, but I was never a Mariners fan. I was always a Griffey Jr. fan because it was just the way that he approached the game, not only from a defensive standpoint, but the way he approached it at the plate. And offensively speaking, I mean, you look at Ken Griffey Jr., a lot of the times he would take a guy out on his secondary pitch, and it was what
you just said is something. I had this conversation a few weeks ago with the guy I was playing golf with. A big golfer, but to say you're not a Ken Griffey Jr. fan is I can't even talk baseball with you after that. You have to be, if you appreciate the sport and the game, you're a Griffey fan. That textbook swing.
You can't teach it at all.
People he was my favorite player. You can't say that. It's like saying Tiger was your favorite golfer. Obviously, he's the GOAT. I mean, Griffey wasn't the GOAT, but so textbook in all his movements. But I mean, did Senior didn't play for the Mariners, did he?
Yeah, they did. He and Junior played at the same time.
That's it.
I mean, it was great being able to go to those games and watch those two. Junior played center and Senior played left field, so you get this lazy pop fly. It's just it's one of those can of corn type catches. And Senior's got it lined up. Junior runs over from his area and he steals the catch from his dad and just laughs at him as he's running back into the dugout. I mean, it was just fun watching those two guys play together because I mean at that point they were out there to play games and make a living, but they were just out there having father and son fun time, and it was just great. I loved it because I mean to me that's what baseball is supposed to be about, and it's like at the end of the movie Field of Dreams, if you don't cry when Ray asked his dad to have a catch, there's something seriously wrong with you.
Oh God, yeah. I can't get over. And we're in that era right now, with I guess greatness producing greatness. Vlad Guerrero Jr. I mean, his dad. I wouldn't say a household name, but everyone did kind of know who Vlad Sr. was.
Yeah, if you spent more than 5 minutes watching baseball back in the early 2000s and in the 90s, you knew who Vlad Guerrero was. I mean, he had that pine tarred up ass bat, and he hit without batting gloves.
If I swung on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball using his bat, I would probably just fall down and cry. Like, I don't know how his hands dealt with that. And then now his son is literally leading the MLB in home runs hit, and that's just home runs. The average and stuff speaks for itself.
Yeah, I think him and Ohtani are tied for the lead.
There was such a 2 years ago when 2019, Cleveland held the home run derby in the All-Star game. Yeah, it was 2019.
Yeah.
That year, there was, because Vlad doesn't speak English, and his dad speaks broken English, but they put out a really cool commercial, and Vlad was like, hey, I always wanted greatness for you. I gave you my name. I did not know that you would take our name this far. And I thought that was really cool because that year, that was his rookie year. And I was like, man, you swing just like your damn dad.
Yeah. And have you seen those superimposed videos where they compare the swings? I mean, legitimately, he's on the same swing plane and everything. It's creepy. But at the same time, I'm sitting here listening to you talk about, the greatness producing greatness, dude, it's giving me goosebumps because it's like that's part of the whole deal with the game.
Yeah, I'm legitimately seeing his arms just bump up. I thought it was the cold air.
Yeah, no. I mean, but, because even now, you got Mike Yastrzemski playing for the Giants. That's Carl Yastrzemski's grandkid. You got Biggio's son's playing for the Toronto Blue Jays. Vlad Jr.'s playing for the Blue Jays. Sadly enough, Roger Clemens' kids, they're not going to go anywhere just because, one, the stigma of their dad, two, I think the older of the two brothers, the older of the two sons, I think he ran into some drug trouble about 10 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Roger Clemens. He had two sons. Both of them played for the University of Texas. One of them gets drafted. I forget who he got drafted by. I think he got drafted by the Astros, but he was making his way through single and double A ball. Then he ran into some drug charges, and he's not playing baseball anymore at all.
It was a bar fight.
Was it a bar fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bar.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it was a bar fight.
Friend awarded $3.2 million in Houston.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and what's cool for me, as far as, local flair, Ryan Brazier, who pitches for the Red Sox, he helped them win their title in 2018. He went to my high school, so he's from this town. Brandon Workman's from Bowie, Texas, and that's about 45 minutes down the road. So we've got a couple of 940 area code kids that are playing in the big leagues. Chase Anderson, I think he pitches for the Diamondbacks. He went to Ryder as well. He went to the same high school. And what's funny about that is that Ryan Brazier used to catch Chase Anderson in high school.
Really?
Yeah, Brazier didn't start pitching until after he got out of high school. And and I remember watching that show Intentional Talk on MLB Network, and they were talking to Ryan Brazier, and he was like, yeah, because at the time the Diamondbacks were in the playoffs, and he was like, yeah, I'm really hoping that that Arizona.
You said Chase Anderson?
Yeah.
Philadelphia Phillies.
Oh, so he's playing for the Phillies now? Okay, so. At the time that the Diamondbacks were still in the playoffs, and they were actually getting pretty deep. I think they had made it to the divisional round or whatever. But he was sitting there and he was like, "I'm pulling for the Diamondbacks because I want to play Arizona in the World Series because Brazier and
what year? 2018. Oh, okay, my bad. As soon as I hear Diamondbacks, I always go to Randy Johnson. I have no idea.
Hey, I used to watch him pitch in Seattle, man. I mean, to me, he's always going to be the big unit. And he was 6'4", and this guy's sitting there pitching downhill. I mean, it's like, good God. You know? And anytime I think of Randy Johnson, it's not the pitch where he killed that pigeon with.
That's what I think.
I think of the All-Star game when he was pitching to John Kruk.
Okay.
And he pitched it over John Kruk's head, so John Kruk turns his batting helmet around backwards, and he holds the bat by the barrel.
I am okay. I like players. I mean, I love my teams. I love my Falcons. My Hawks made it last night, but I'm Atlanta-based everything.
Yeah.
But just Randy Johnson. It's a bittersweet subject because one of his no-hitters came against my Braves, and sometimes you just got to have that hurt. I mean, think about the Falcons and the Patriots in the Super Bowl, man. There's every Atlanta-based team. Well, it's hard to be a fan sometimes. Like, they will hurt you. And I wanted to tell you in a story here. I think your co-host will get a kick out of this. So before I went in the Army, I graduated high school early. I might sound like a dumbass, but I'm a smart ass. I was playing USSSA ball at AAU and Legion at the time, and one of my coaches was like, "Hey, I know you love University of South Carolina." Coach Ray Tanner at that time, that's 07, going into 08. So, and he was like, "Hey, they divvy up scholarships and walk-ons between the athletic departments per year," or something like that. I could be wrong. I don't know. And I was like, okay, what do I have to do? He's like, all right, it's a Monday through Friday. It's a 5-round cut. And he's like, all you got to do is go down there, work out 5-6 hours a day, do some drills, some stuff like that. Just, go check it out. You're done with high school. You could be a young walk-on, red shirt and all that stuff. I was like, all right, cool. And obviously 17 years old, I'm like, Gamecocks are red. Like, duh, I'm wearing a red shirt, idiot. But anyway, I didn't know what that meant at the time. So anyway, I lived about an hour north of Columbia, right below Charlotte, North Carolina. And so Monday through Wednesday, I drove down there. And I was driving a 1994 Chevy Silverado, and just driving that big old hoss was just killing me. I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm not coming back after Wednesday. In retrospect, after Tuesday, they stopped cutting outfielders. They were doing more infield drills, and we were out there just kind of, playing grab ass or whatever. So I just never went back. And that's one of the things that kind of haunt me. I never would have made the starting roster because right beside me, standing in center field in 2007, going into 2008, was this young guy you might have heard of him. Oh, yeah, Jackie Bradley Jr. We were standing in center field. Like I said, I played center. That's where I was trying out for. And there's Jackie, and we're just, hey, like, what's up? I didn't know who he was going to be.
Yeah, good old JBJ. Yes, sir.
That's ridiculous.
What's so funny is if who's to say yes or no? But in my head, it would have been a yes. But that's the Gamecock team that won the back-to-back 2010-2011 College World Series.
Yeah, he was part of that great outfield that the Red Sox had put together, the Killer Bees. It was Benintendi, Betts, and Bradley. And dude, I mean, and then they went on in 2018 just to kind of kill everybody. Dude, that's cool. I had never heard that story before. That is awesome.
That is the last time that I played baseball because obviously following year went in the Army, and that's how this began. So yeah, that's how that happened. Now Founders Park, and then he's second base in Kansas City Royals, but Whit Merrifield, I mean, that 2011 blooper to right field to do a walk. I love a good walk off. I don't care whose team it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I love a walk off. There's no bigger middle finger in the world than a walk off anything. I mean, if you do a walk-off grand slam, that's the ultimate one. Like you got to. If you're the opposing team, you have to quit baseball then.
Right? Yeah. I mean, almost. I mean, it's. Or what's even worse, right? If it's like it's a 3-0 count, bases are loaded, and you're Tatis Jr. hitting a walk-off grand slam.
Oh my gosh, you talking about that unwritten rule crap?
Oh God, and if you watch any of our previous episodes, man, it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I addressed the unwritten rules and how I think most of them are crap. And it's like, just get out there and play the game.
It was episode 9.
Yeah, because I mean, Trevor Bauer tweeted out. He goes, "Man, if you swing 3-0 and hit one out on me, dude, I'll tip my hat to you." You know, and I'm like, see, Trevor Bauer gets it though.
Absolutely. And you have to have that. I mean, why we look, okay, and we, how do I put this? I'm trying to choose my words wisely. Okay, so as fans of any sport, I don't care what sport you like. I don't care if you're into extreme crochet knitting. I don't care. Like, you want some form of savagery, just brutal. You want something to happen. I'm not saying like people get hurt or anything like that, but you want that anguish to come out. Like, take Fenway Park. There's no better home run than hitting it over the big green monster. There's no better home run in baseball.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because it's freaking huge.
Well, it's a 30-foot wall, but it's like the wall giveth and the wall taketh away.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely. And what in some of these line drives that, you know, they call them wall balls, but it's like some of these line drives that bounce off the green, dude. It's, I mean, in any other park, those would be big flies and they'd be home runs. And that wall, depending on how you pitch, will either be your best friend or it will be your biggest enemy. And
I bet the engineer, when he made that, actually said,
well, the funny thing is that the reason why the green monster was created in the first place is if you look back in the 40s when that wall was built, it was nothing but ads. And the reason why they put that there was because the people that were sitting outside the park were sitting on top of like the bars and the pubs and everything right there on Lansdowne Street. They were sitting there looking over the wall and watching games for free.
Yeah, they created that. You said 40s, right?
Yeah, it was like the 40s or I think it was like 47, 48 when that wall was put in. I can't remember. I think.
What is it?
Yeah, they kept it like that because that was the era. It has to be in that time frame because I think the 60s is when they started going more digital, and that's why they keep that wooden, old school scoreboard out there.
Yeah, and I think it's the last manually operated scoreboard in the major leagues.
I'll tell you another fun fact, especially for your viewers and stuff. So I sat on the Big Green Monster in
1934.
Yeah, that's right, 34.
I got back from Afghanistan, and I went up and hung out with a couple Army buddies in Boston, and somehow we landed tickets. I sat on the Monster. I'll tell you what's really cool is behind the Monster, and I guess like underneath it in a sense, is Red Sox corporate headquarters.
Yeah.
And it gets, that portion of that park gets sun. As long as the sun is in the sky, it gets all the sun. So what was happening was corporate headquarters right there at Fenway it was just cooking in the office, like no matter what they did with thermostat. So they took a really cool approach, and I respect this. I like unique things.
You talking about the garden that they put up there?
Yeah, the garden.
Yeah, Fenway Gardens, yeah.
So all the vegetables and stuff that you eat in that stadium is grown at the park because I guess photosynthesis or whatever, like it cools down the corporate headquarters because it has the garden above it on the roof.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was like super cool. Just a very unique thing.
Yeah, and we're gonna cut this short a little bit here. So hey, Zach, real quick, I just want you to take a couple minutes because I know that you're on the amateur tour out there still, right?
Yeah, I'm still doing some amateur work.
Yeah, you want to take a couple minutes and talk about that, man? We'll throw you guys some plug here.
Yeah, so I haven't been playing as much as I want to lately, but I play on what's called the U.S. AM Tour, and then I also play for the Veterans Golf Association. The U.S. AM Tour, it's flighted So that means you play against people of your likely handicap.
Okay.
Awesome. Ton. And it's nationwide. They have, I'm from here to Texas, Washington. I mean, you name it. There's a regional area you play. We have nationals. Nationals this year is in San Diego in September. You play for points. You play for money. There's buy-ins, et cetera, et cetera. I just picked up golf when I got out because it's very strategic and kind of tactful and stuff. So I enjoy it. Been playing for a little bit, and I'm actually, if I get some more practice in, I might go try out for the True Amateur, the Korn Ferry Tour, which is the league below PGA here in a few months, just to try it out. I need to practice. I need to play like I did last year. But yeah, and the VGA is great, man. If any veterans are listening or whatever, that's a great thing. Anything from, paraplegics, just fundraising, that's a good time. Just hang out with other veterans is always a good time of all, wars and, just any kind of service. So that's always fun. So yeah, that's pretty much my golf. Well, I actually played 2 days ago in a charity tournament. But we finished second to last with an under par score because old people like to lie.
That's not true.
Someone claims that they shot a 55. Like, get out of here. Like, there ain't no way you shot a 55. Like,
and is that with or without the handicap, though?
You can't. I mean, 55 with like 3 other teammates. Like, why aren't y'all on tour? Like, what are y'all doing out here? But I will tell you this too. My girlfriend, tomorrow she is off, and she said we have to go to the store and take that photo for Skelton. I guess she knows a sports store that sells, like I said, shit ass toilet paper called Red Sox gear. So I'll go. I'll have your photo will be up sometime tomorrow, and yeah, I will put that up. I haven't forgot about you. I'm not buying any Red Sox anything.
That's just like I was going to wait on you to send me a Braves hat, but then when they won that first night, and I sent you that text message that I'm going to go ahead and call you out on that you didn't reply to when I said that I at least got ahead a spot in the finals.
I felt sad.
Yeah, I was like, man, okay. And I would have done it too. I would have done it too. I would have. Actually, you know what? I'll tell you what. Just because I know how much pain it brings you, and far be it for me to want to do that to one of my brothers. I'll let you off the hook, man. You don't have to do it.
No.
But
you have to, just for one day at least.
Wait. He doesn't have to put it on his body because I know that if you were to ask me to put on some kind of Yankees gear, there's not enough fucking holy water in the world to cleanse away that sin, okay?
I can get you a young priest and
I will kick you square in the asshole, dude. I will.
I'll be willing to.
No. Okay. Anyways,
I'll
let you off the hook, but I want you to say right here, right now, that you love you some Red Sox baseball, and then then I'll let you off the hook.
I'll send you the photo tomorrow.
All right, man. All right, Zach. Well, hey, just give people some insight here. This is my buddy Zach Medford. We were in No Slack, and if I have to explain that to you, you're just going to miss out. But brother, it is always a pleasure talking to you on the phone. I appreciate you taking the time to come onto the show today. So
yeah, we'll have you on again a little bit later. Talk about because I'm actually just interested in the veteran baseball team.
Or veteran golf, yeah, he plays for the Veteran Golf Association.
So. Oh, Veteran Golf Association.
The VGA, you can Google it, check them out. They're everywhere too. Definitely check that out. Yeah, man. Thank you for having me on today. Mets just took game 1. About to watch game 2.
I just
here.
seen that.
So. Yeah, boys, and then, like I said, I still got to get back out to Texas, and maybe one day I can be there actually in person, and we'll put on a good one.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Let me know. Hey, man, I'll holler at you here in about a day or so. So that way you and I can just kind of sit down and just shoot the shit. But, Zach, I really appreciate it, man.
Hey, no problem, man. No fucking slack.
No slack, brother. Talk to you later.
Well, that was a fun episode.
Yeah, that was fun. Talking to Zach, I mean, the guy is just, he's squared away, man.
He sounds like he has his hand full of a lot of stuff that he's.
He wears a lot of different hats, and dude, I'm telling you what, he puts up with the same kind of crap that a lot of veterans do when they come back. Whether it be divorce, kids, relationships, he's got his own demons, but man, I'll tell you what, to a T, he's probably one of the better individuals that I have the pleasure of knowing, with my associations with the Army. But, and I'm not just saying that because he was on the show, but I mean, I can legitimately sit there and talk with this guy for hours about baseball, and the fact that he just could not bring himself to say that he loves him some Red Sox baseball. I mean, that was beautiful.
That was that was really good. I'll send you the photo.
I'll send you the photo tomorrow. Yeah, that was great.
All right. Well, I'm David Ickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton.
And this is Nerd Sports. Thank you for watching. Peace.